Good evening, everyone. I hope you are hearing me. I am not really seeing any of you or hearing you. Ah, I'm hearing a voice.
Hello?
Yes, hi.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Is this Gloria?
No, this is Ibiwunmi.
Okay, from Nigeria.
Ibiwunmi Akinnola. Yes, from Nigeria. I was trying to log on.
Well, the sound is really poor.
So
I don't know if you're hearing me as... You're using what? Is there any way we can see you?
Hear you very clearly. I'm saying that I want to use my laptop, but I can't seem to log in with the
Yeah, I understand. My laptop also has issues logging in, so I also had to use my phone. But hopefully we'll manage to have a conversation, because I'm only seeing myself right now. So I think I will be joined by Gloria, hopefully, shortly. So let me just introduce myself, as I hope you guys will be able to introduce yourselves too. I'm Sara Vauclair. I'm the CEO of Kingdom Kids in Uganda, preschool and daycare in Uganda. I'm the founder of Vauclair Language Services, and I'm a PR at Hope Hearts, a children's home. So I am here to moderate this session about the economic consequences of COVID-19 on girls and women. I hope you are hearing me properly, because I'm not hearing any feedback. All right. So this coronavirus pandemic has left no corner of the world untouched. And since the first case of the disease was reported in China in December 2019, more than 10.8 million infections have been recorded in about 2013 countries. So we've faced a lot of challenges like inadequate medical facilities, unequal distribution of income, and fragile supply chains and gender inequality. So COVID-19 has truly reminded us that no man is an island, and no one is truly self-sufficient. We all rely on the company contribution and comfort of somebody in order to thrive, and therefore we need to be each other's keeper. So talking about vulnerable communities who are stuck in abject poverty, in sub-Saharan Africa, we are still recording the highest prevalence of undernourished people, and about 1 out of 4 people are recorded to be hungry. So just like the pandemic, the Spanish influenza pandemic in 1918, which took about 50 million lives, led to the creation of a favorable environment for the Comprehensive Equal Rights Amendment to help women take up roles that were previously exclusive to men. A century later, this pandemic is giving us the opportunity to recalibrate. So I believe that by ensuring equality measures for women in the African agricultural sector, we can empower the economic system, but we can also strengthen the food system to provide healthy nutrition, to boost immunity needed to fight the coronavirus. Properly. Are you hearing me properly?
Yes.
So let me just continue, as I cannot hear anyone for now. So in Africa, are involved in farming at the primary level, afford 3 square meals a day. To the World Bank, 70% of the food eaten in who happen to be with emerging technologies to scale up. Let me see, who's having trouble connecting. I've had to moderate on my own. So, wonderful. I am seeing somebody. Hi, it's good to see you.
Nice to see you too.
So those emerging technologies can be, but beautiful. I finally hear the voice. Are you able to introduce yourself?
Yes. Good afternoon. My name is Leela Fowler-Amba, and I'm a director at Vivian Fowler Memorial College for Girls in Lagos, Nigeria. Can you hear me?
Slightly.
Okay.
Hello.
You were saying you are director at?
I run a school called Vivian Fowler Memorial College for Girls. It's an all-girls school in Lagos, Nigeria. Can you hear me?
All right. Great. Do we have anyone else online? Yes, I heard. I heard you properly. College for Girls. It's beautiful.
Yes. Thank you.
Can you hear me? Sarah?
Yes.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Vivian Akinnola. I'm an educator and I'm currently the president of International Women's Society Nigeria. It's an NGO that works with indigenous women and their children.
So I don't know if you heard anything I was saying before, but I was talking about equipping women to increase their options to make decisions that will also boost the African economy. So I was wondering how COVID-19 has affected you personally or in your circles, in your job.
Do you want me to go
Olufunke,
ahead?
if you can start.
Yes.
Yeah, please.
Being in the education sector, it affected us tremendously because, as you know, a lot of lessons were online. They were through remote learning. And a lot of parents also were furloughed or affected their jobs. And this was a time where we had to completely restructure our economy. As far as the school, we had to look at our shortcomings. We had to see ourselves as a community more than anything else, because we realized that this was a time where, from a business point of view, people either view us as having empathy or just being in a situation for economic reasons. And it affected especially the mothers, because a lot of mothers are wearing a lot of hats. They had to adapt to a lot of things. And it affected our environment because we're a girls' school, and we had to make sure that we had a lot of support for the girls, because it's the first time they were probably at home for a long period of time. It's a boarding school. We know that there was an increase in sexual abuse. We also knew there was an increase in also spousal abuse as well. So as a unit, we had to make sure that we had a lot of support for mothers and the girl child. Sarah, can I continue? Sarah, I'm not sure if you can hear me. Can you hear me?
Okay.
Okay.
So who were you able to find your support with? Any government agency?
Well, unfortunately, the government agencies were not supportive of schools on the continent. It was an emergency. It's the first time they've ever come across
Yes, I can
this.
hear you.
Yes, it was the first time they ever came across this, and we're a private school.
I was asking, who were you able to find support with? Like, was there some kind of organized system there that allowed you to get support?
There wasn't much organized system, to be quite frank. We're a private school, so we had to look within our resources and make sure that we had support for our children and also our mothers. However, the Lagos state government, which is the city where I live in, they have very good support systems for spousal abuse and anything like that. But in our own community, we have a counselor on site that was able to assist children, especially the girl child, children that needed support and help, because they were going through a lot of transition at the time. Ibiwunmi, I think we're live. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yes, maybe you should continue from where I left off. How you're okay? Maybe okay. Sarah is okay. She's come back. Okay.
Ugandan internet is not yet there. Yes, I hear you.
Okay, if you can hear me, maybe I can help you out. Ibiwunmi, maybe you can talk about how the COVID-19 has affected how you were able to support women through your NGO, because you reach out, you're an NGO, so you must have a lot of
Ibiwunmi,
systems in place.
what were your challenges
Okay, for us, as the president of International Women's Society Nigeria, we deal a lot with vulnerable women and their children. And basically, we have empowered over about 1,000 widows, just giving them items to trade. They're petty traders that trade on a daily basis. Because of the COVID, they couldn't trade in any form. And what we were able to do is raise funds and partner with various organizations, giving them palliatives, food items, dry items, because first of all, they couldn't go out. If they can't go out, they can't sell to feed themselves or their children. Secondly, the markets were staggered. It wasn't every day that the markets were open. And because of that, they couldn't even sell anything to feed themselves. So what we've been able to do is gone to where a lot of the women are, like we went to the cantonment where we had a lot of the Boko Haram widows to give them palliatives to last them about a month. We were able also to partner with an NGO organization where they normally give palliatives to vulnerable women and children in their vicinity. So we were able to feed about 2,000. We got support also from other women from the association. We got 50 bags of rice. So every month we try to go to our local government areas where most of the women come within their vicinity, so they can walk to their local government, and we were giving them dry food items. Lagos State was also able to give us some palliatives to give the widows. So basically, the widows, the women, our staff, because we have staff working in our vocational training center, in our nursery. We have a nursery, we have an orphanage. We had to give them palliatives every month, and we're still doing so now because it's still pretty difficult for them to feed themselves.
Okay, Ibiwunmi, maybe I'll help Sarah out since it's blank there.
Yes.
Did you experience a lot of abuse for the women you were helping, and how were you able to support them? Because at this time, the childcare was not available. So how were you able to support them at this instance?
Okay, for us, because we have a project called Widows Trust Fund. And over the years, we've gone through over 1,000 of them. They are mostly Boko Haram widows that were transported back to Nigeria, to Lagos. And most of them are being raped all the time. They have nowhere to stay. So we've been dealing with it before COVID. So they are able to come to our secretariat at any time when they have issues. We have a lot of lawyers supporting us. Any one of them that needs lawyer, because we've been caring for that aspect for almost 3 years now. We're able to put them in clusters. We have coordinators within where they live that they can reach immediately. If we have any situation, we have a lot of organizations that we partner with that work with domestic abuse, sexual abuse. There are lawyers that are ready to support them, that help them, that counsel them as well. So that's, and so far, because also automatically, because we put them in clusters, it was easier for them to meet each other and support each other. So, you know, in Nigeria, where everybody is your family, because they know that I know you, they're more protected because they know she can come to you, and then they'll get
So there was
lawyers.
a family unit,
It's
community unit.
It's a community unit that we were able to create. Yes.
Okay. I'm not sure if Sarah can hear us again. If not, I will keep going.
I'm here, but I'm not sure if you're hearing me.
Okay, I can hear you. Yeah, we can hear you. Okay. Go ahead, Sarah. We can hear you.
Okay. So, well, for me in Uganda, I actually lost my job due to COVID. So I felt the economic consequences directly. But I tried to start a daycare actually during COVID from my home. So I got a lot of visitors who were just starving, if I can say. And I got a few clients here and there from mothers who basically didn't know what to do with their children because they needed to go and look for food. But due to very few clients, I had to at some point send away my teacher who was staying there with a baby. And so with just 20,000 shillings, which is like €5, she was able to start a business of basically food delivery. I was seeing a lot of people starting food delivery services. And so we just kind of came up with this idea that if you have to be with your baby at home, like what could you do that starts bringing you funds every day? So she was able to start what do you call it, mandazi, donuts, a donuts business. And she just, with just €5, she bought a bit of flour and everything, and it actually helped her go through the lockdown, which is still on in Uganda. And so she actually it developed, and she was able to make it and provide for her family.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Yes.
And I was actually shifting myself today because of the whole situation, which has really affected my financial status. So I've had to move and just create new companies. I actually pushed me to start my language company.
Okay.
Translation, interpretation, and of course there are the challenges of internet connection, as you can see, but we are trying to get adjusted to the new world with the use of technology, and having to have a child here at the same time. My son had to start school today, and they have just cancelled because the ministry has not yet released the certificates for some schools. So it really takes a lot of networking skills and friendships to make things happen and move when your usual sources of income collapse.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
But it's hard for me to hear you guys, and
we can hear you. Do you want to ask us some questions? Do you want to proceed that way? You ask us questions, or how do you want it to go?
Maybe I don't know, some initiatives you've seen that have made sense, that have worked.
Well, I mean, just
communities,
like
or
yes. I have a friend, for instance, she's doing a lot of cooking from home, not in bulk, but personalized cooking, and that's really, really taken off very rapidly. So she cooks meals and she puts them in plastics and you order them. So the food delivery has been phenomenal. And I have another friend who, has put, she has a catering company, and because of the lockdown, there couldn't be parties and things. And another thing that she has done is to ensure that if you have a birthday party or something, they have individual packs for your guest. And also they can also send packs to you as well. So those are I think the food initiative is really huge because people always have to eat. And another initiative is, people are scared of going shopping themselves because they don't want to mix because of getting the virus. So another form to empower women is people being personal shoppers, people going to the market. Being in Africa, we go to the market because we eat a lot of organic things. So we don't really deal with supermarkets because supermarkets, they deliver anyway. But the bigger markets, that people go into markets and they charge you for the delivery charge. So those are ways that women can empower themselves. A last aspect I want to talk about is childcare. Just like you're doing, women have to go back to work, and because there've been reductions in income, people cannot afford the aftercare that they normally pay for before. So another way to empower oneself is you could start a childcare, a small childcare, where you have extended hours, because as you know, in Africa there are a lot of traffic, a lot of schools are coming back staggered, where they don't resume fully. So you could also have a childcare that's extended, maybe even overnight. So those are creative ways that you can do things.
Yes, one of the creative ways I found out was a friend of mine who is a medical doctor. They actually have doctors that actually consult with their patients online via video WhatsApp or Zoom WhatsApp, especially for those that are not able to go out. Another new innovation that we found, with, particularly with skills vocational training center, is a lot of people came to ask us to partner with them so our students can start sewing face masks for them. So a lot of what they were doing now turned from learning to actually sewing as many face masks as they could possibly sew.
So I think we've lost Sarah again. Sarah, can you hear us? Okay, I think we've lost her. So Ibiwunmi, for the women, because the women you are supporting through your NGO, they're going to need a lot of skill renovation and reinvention post-COVID. So what have you put in line to empower them so that they can become a little more economically independent? Because as we know, the economy is very, very weak at the time globally. So how are you going to help them? Because even raising funds for you at this time could be difficult. So you really need to work on empowering these women. So what do you have in place?
So one of the things we've started doing at the Skills Acquisition Center is we got sponsorship from a bank, Polaris Bank. They're helping us set up a online training center where the women can come and start learning about technology, and so they're able to use the Google Classroom, which is free. And so you have a lot of them that want to, they're caterers, they can actually use the Google Classroom to teach students and get students to sign on. Also, the fashion designers can use the Google Classroom. So we're revamping our Skills Acquisition Center to be to teach them how to use technology to trade. A lot of who we're dealing with are very, very well educated. So we're also starting an online adult literacy class, which we did throughout the COVID pandemic, to help them learn how to use, and we taught them how to navigate some of this social media, WhatsApp video, Google Classroom, any way they can use to teach and learn. Also, a lot of them did not know how to set up WhatsApp groups. So they can have groups, they can reach their customers, they can send pictures of what they've made.
Oh, fantastic.
Send it to their customers. So it's teaching them how to be technologically savvy so that they are able to sell what they're doing. And particularly with the food, exactly the same thing. They're sending food in boxes and doing parties and sending everything that you eat in our Nigerian parties to each individual.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we're going to end soon. So I think we can end with this. There are a lot of women you're seeing, because mental health is something we don't talk about in the African context. So how are you able to support these women, these children, these mothers? Because most of them, like you said, they're coming from war-torn areas, and then they've now come into a pandemic situation in a bigger city. So it's only normal that some, not all, will experience mental health. So how are you able, what NGOs are you reaching out to? And we're talking to forums all over Africa. What are you saying other people can do to help in assisting large groups like you're doing?
You know, Funke, aside from me being an educator, one of the things I like people to do is educate the women, especially those that are illiterate, that cannot read. They're so scared of mental health. It's like a taboo for them. It's like you are it's you are saying they're mad if you say they need mental for them mental once they hear mental. But what we are doing is using the words we want to teach you how to empower you and teaching you how to empower you to be financially independent. We need to work with all the mental health coaches. So we try to couch it in another way. And one of the things I would really like for us to do for the indigenous women, they need that awareness, creating the advocacy for that mental health is not you are mad, it's about you being emotionally stable to provide for your children, to make your husband happy, and to make yourself happy as well. So it's for us to create more awareness about mental health, to interpret it in different languages, in different dialects for us in Nigeria, where we have almost over 250 dialects, to so that
Fantastic.
women can understand what it means to give them that emotional and mental support.
So we'll end with this because we only have about 5 more minutes or 4 minutes left. Most COVID-19 health-wise affected more women, more men than women adversely. But I was reading when I was doing a little research that the UN was saying that because of the cost of treating COVID patients, reproductive health has reduced all its funds. And I know that in your own space, you're going to have women who are pregnant, who need help. So what would you say? What would you say would be a good tool so that these women, we already have a high rate of maternal death within the continent. So in a pandemic state that we're in now, what tools are you using to assist these women so they have access to good reproductive health?
One of the things that we have in our society, we actually have a library in Luth. And unfortunately, because the library is right very close
Okay,
to
you
the
said a library in Luth. That's for those who are listening outside Africa. That's Luth is a state, is a government hospital.
yes, a
Okay,
government
okay,
hospital in
okay.
Lagos. And
Yes.
what we normally do is on Wednesdays we actually go towards and we give all the patients books and magazines to read. What we're trying to do in terms of health and how our own women will get access to help is because we are already in partnership with them. We just link them with the director in charge. We're also able to use most of our friends and networking that have hospitals and deal with women. And we've been lucky with we make a call and they say let them come in. A
Oh,
lot of
fantastic.
women are supporting each other. Aside from also I was at a function for Lagos State for rural, celebrating the International Day of the Rural Woman. And the Lagos State
Absolutely.
Women Elevation is one of the things they're working towards, making sure that the women can work with any health center around them and they can get assistance. So a lot of work is being done with women and even with the state, at least in Lagos State.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
So we'll end with this. I would just say his closing statement and also have you end. I think this is a period where women have to empower themselves, where there's a big economic gender gap. And this is also a time for us to be in decision-making situations. We should work towards being in the corridor of power because we're not given the opportunity to make decisions. And during pandemics like this, we're the last group of people that the government may think about, women and children. So I think I would just conclude by saying that this is also a time we should see ourselves as a community, stick together. Women should not have a crab mentality, but should be there to support each other so that this is not a difficult road for us to go through. So I'll leave you with the last word, Ibiwunmi, how would you say that we can help ourselves as women to support each other?
As women, we have to support each other. First of all, as women, we need to embrace informality. A lot of things have changed. A lot of things are new. We have to leverage on digitalization and technology for everything that we do. We have to save women's jobs and support women's enterprises. We have to single out women for social protection programs. We just have to ensure that as we're dealing with the women, we do not leave the girl child behind as well. And the youth, the young women, the leaders of tomorrow, we do not leave them out. And finally, I want to call upon any government all over the world to collaborate with civil society organizations, NGOs, women that are doing little things. We do not know how to promote ourselves. We do not know how to network. But the people that know how to draw, the people that are doing genuine things and helping other women, we need the government to support us. That would be what I would say.
Thank you very much, Ibiwunmi. You're doing a great job, because it's about those women that don't have access to empowerment. And what you're doing is really empowering women. So well done. And we hope that from our little conversation here, we apologize for the connection. I wasn't meant to be a moderator, but all of a sudden I was in that position. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. And we just thank God for the voice that women have today. And we know that the next generation are showing us all over Africa that the woman gender is really waking up, and we will soon be in the corridors of power where we will be able to really move change within the continent. Thank you, Ibiwunmi, and God bless you.
Thank you.
Okay.
God bless
Bye-bye.
you.
Bye.
Bye.